Hi, in today's tutorial we're going to look at a website called Edshelf.com, and they bill themselves as a socially curated discovery engine of websites, mobile apps, desktop programs, and electronic products for teaching and learning. So in summary, this is a site that is a collection of apps and websites and reviews of those apps and websites focused on education. And it's kind of a cool tool. So to start with, they'll have a create account up here. It's totally free. I already have one, so I'll sign in, but you can go ahead and create your account. And you can use this site in a variety of ways. The organizational structure of the site is built around something called shelves. So what you could do if you wanted this, you could build your own shelves, and those are just collections of apps that you find useful. So when you return, all the apps are in one place. The other method you could use is simply to search the site when you have a need or when you're curious if there's a particular application that might support what you're doing in the classroom. Research them and use that as a base to find something new. Now, this is a curated site, so there is a person, a man who does all the organization on this site, but it does have the social aspect to it in the fact that people can submit apps and websites to the site, and you also can rate them and give reviews on these sites. So it's kind of like a crowdsourcing way of getting an overall rating on the sites. So let's look at the front page. First of all, there will be featured tools that are generally around a concept or a theme, and I guess fundraising is the theme. Give Campus, Indiegogo, etc. So right now this is the theme. There's also featured shelves. So if you were a consistent visitor to the site, you'd want to check in. And these are around, let's see, assessment in the classroom. So this shelf is around assessment, classroom activities, classroom apps, and Google Classroom. So I might find the first and third particularly interesting. They're a little more specific. Okay. We'll also list newest members here. So if you want to be anonymous, then register yourself with a username that keeps you anonymous. Recently added tools. Okay, so there's a lot of things up here on this site, and if you want to see just the things that have been added recently, obviously you can look into this section, and recently updated tool listings. So perhaps where a review has been redone, or when an app or website has updated their functionality, and that's been recognized here. And also recently created shelves. And these are created by the members themselves. So it's people who go in and usually around a particular topic, sometimes more general, sometimes more specific, but have identified particular applications they feel support that subject and have created shelves, and you can benefit from that if you find them here. Okay. You do have a dashboard. You can see that your shelves would be listed here. Shelves you are following would be listed here. Any reviews you've done. And tools that you may have uploaded to the site or identified for the site. Okay, there's a launch pad. This is simply a place where if you've collected a bunch of tools, they'd all be gathered here, and you could use this to get to those sites quickly. Instead of maybe keeping bookmarks, you could keep that organized here. There is an add tool feature. I'll skip to that. And you simply put the URL and name of the tool. You can identify the age group, subjects, and you can see that you can put in multiple subjects if you'd like. Categories, again, there are predetermined categories that you can choose from. Description of the site, and your rating on 3 different metrics. One would be learning curve, how easy is it to get started on this site, pedagogical effectiveness, and student engagement. And then you can include your review. So if you wanted to be very active on this site, or you knew of a great app that somehow wasn't listed here, although there are quite a few listed here, you could add that tool yourself. Or you can create a shelf. When you create a shelf, this is for your use if you make it private, but if you do make it public, other people can benefit from it. And you would include a title, a quick description, and then any tags, and the tags would help make it searchable. Now, if you don't want to do this on your own, if you'd like to do this in conjunction with somebody else, you can add other curators. So you can share this particular shelf with other people and let them work on it as well. Let's get to one of the best features, and that's the search. First of all, if you're interested in free things, there are two categories of search you can go with, paid or free. If you don't choose one, you'll get both. You can see that there you can choose platform. Now, with all of these search features, I'm going to choose web, and I'm also going to choose iPad. So you can choose multiple features. These are things that are going to be available on both web and iPad. There's a long list of subjects that you can choose from. So let's go with say language arts. And again, you could choose multiple subjects if you like. You can select by age, so from 1 to 22. So maybe I'm going to be looking for digital storytelling, and I'd like to do that for maybe 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. Let me bracket it a little bit, 9 and 13. And there's also categories you can search by, and let's see if we can find, oh yeah, digital storytelling creators. Now, just some advice. I've put in a lot of search terms, and sometimes that limits you a great deal. So you may decide that you don't want to put in all of these restrictions on it, or you can. So even with all of these restrictions, I'm coming up with two. I'm coming up with Wixie, digital storytelling creator, and Book Track Classroom. So let's look at Wixie. I'm just going to click on it. Once you're looking at a review, these are people who have pretty much endorsed it and say they are using it within the community if that's important to you. It gives you a listing of tools it feels are related. Create Storytime, Tiggly Stamp, I'm not sure what that one is. More from the same developer, so other apps by the people who developed Wixie. And it's in 38 shelves. No one has really taken the time to do a review. I think we find this in most circumstances. The number of people who actually do ratings is a little lower, or a lot lower, than the people who actually use it or may find it useful. They will be either in video form or in slide form. Sometimes this is just a series of slides, sometimes it's a video. That will give you this is an introduction to Wixie, which is not unusual, that it be in video form or that it just actually be an introduction. It's the most common. And then here it gives you a description. So it tells us what Wixie does. It gives us the platforms that are supported, also very common. Website, iPad, Google Chrome. It's both art and language arts, age of learners from 8 to 18, so it's quite a wide range. And categories that it's under, so Common Core State Standards, Digital Storytelling, Interactive Project Creators. Okay, so if you want to get this tool, there's some free handy links up here up at the top. So here's where you can go directly to the website, which I usually like to do. I like to check it out on the website first before I install it on an iPad or some other device, free Android tablet app or a Chrome app. So if you were interested in digital storytelling, this is something you could check out. In addition, there'll be a section on pricing, and it's a good place to look because sometimes we know that there are free versions and then there are pro or upgraded versions that could be listed here, and also just the specifics of pricing. Reviews, if they're available, will be here. And then at the bottom, it's going to show you all the shelves that contain this particular app, or many of the shelves that contain this particular app. And the reason this can be an advantage is that if you find you like it, it's often helpful to look in at those other apps that people who also liked it find useful. So you may have a similar goal in mind. Perhaps you're an art teacher and you're looking to use this app in that way. You can go and you can find other people who are using it in that way, and then the other apps they also find useful. Or perhaps it's in writing, English language arts, etc. So sometimes mining this information can be very useful as well. Here's one for storytelling. So if I go into that shelf, you can see here seems to be one on haiku. Here's a digital storyteller, write about this. Rasma, great app. Okay, nice features over on the right is you can print with URL. So I'm not going to actually print, but you can see a preview of the type of thing that you would get. So a little icon, links to paid iPad apps, iPhone apps, websites, what's ever available, so it's nicely organized. I'm going to escape because I don't want to print. And let me go back to the site. There is a print function with QR codes. So if you're not familiar with these, you can scan these with your phones. It'll take you right to the website. So interesting option there. Not something that's caught on to the extent that it might have, but some people do use it. And there's also a place where you can get code to embed the shelf in a website. So we've done that in different contexts, but very common. So here's the code to do that. And you can customize this as well. So you can give it a different height or give it a different layout, etc. Here you go. So now it's in list form. Now it's compact. And that's going to adjust this code here. Okay, special code to be able to do that in a Google site. Okay, so that's a quick overview of Edshelf. I think it's very easy to use. I don't think you'll have any trouble learning how to use it if you're interested. And I hope you find it useful.